São loucas, são loucas. Eu sei, meu amor, que nem chegaste a partir, pois tudo em meu redor me diz que estás sempre comigo. De manhã temendo que me achasses feia, acordei tremendo, deitada na areia, mas logo os teus olhos disseram que não, e o sol penetrou no meu coração. Mas logo os teus olhos disseram que não, e o sol penetrou no meu coração. Vi depois numa rocha uma cruz, e o teu barco negro acenava na luz, e o teu braço acenando ao longe, dizem as veias da praia que não voltas. São loucas, são loucas, loucas. Eu sei, meu amor, que nem chegaste a partir, pois tudo em meu redor me diz que estás sempre comigo. Eu sei, meu amor, que nem chegaste a partir, pois tudo em meu redor me diz que estás sempre comigo. partir, pois tudo em meu redor me diz que estás sempre comigo. Eu sei, meu amor, que nem chegaste a partir, pois tudo em meu redor me diz que estás sempre comigo. No calor do leito, nos bancos vazios, na chuva mortiça, dentro do meu peito, dentro do meu peito, dentro do meu peito, estás sempre E se não for fado, mas trouxer a voz do mar, que deixa o cheiro salgado à beira do meu olhar. E se não for triste, mas tiver a voz de Deus, essa voz que em mim persiste quando os dias são for nada disso, pois a minha timidez não o deixa ser castiço quando quer mais português. Pode ser que seja um fado errado que a minha alma aprendeu. Não será o vosso fado, não será, mas é o meu. E se não for fado, mas correr na direção do rio que banha apressado as margens da minha mão. E se não for negro, mas pintar todas as cores que dão igual aconchego aos sorrisos e às dores. E se não for nada disso, e se não for nada disso, cores que dão igual aconchego aos sorrisos e às dores. E se não for nada disso, 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 e se não for nada disso. Não sei, não sabe ninguém, porque canto fado neste tom magoado de dor e de pranto, e neste tormento todo o sofrimento. Eu sinto que a alma cá dentro se acalma nos versos que canto. Foi Deus que deu luz aos olhos, perfumou as rosas, deu boi ao sol e prata do ar. Foi Deus que me pôs no peito um rosário de penas que vou desfiando e choro a cantar. Que pôs estrelas no céu e fez o espaço sem fim, deu luto às andorinhas. Ai, ai, deu-me esta voz a mim, deu-me esta voz a mim. Se canto, não sei o que canto, misto de ventura, saudade, ternura e talvez amor. Mas sei que cantando sinto mesmo quando se tem um desgosto ou pranto no rosto, nos deixa melhor. Foi Deus que deu voz ao vento, luz ao firmamento e deu azul às ondas do mar. Foi Deus que me pôs no peito um rosário de penas que vou desfiando e choro a cantar. Que pôs estrelas no céu e fez o espaço sem fim, deu luto às andorinhas. Ai, ai, deu-me esta voz a mim, deu-me esta voz a mim, deu-me esta voz a mim, deu-me esta voz a mim. outro dia se eu sabia o que era o fado. Eu disse que não sabia. Tu ficaste admirado, sem saber o que dizia. Eu menti naquela hora e disse que não sabia. Mas vou te dizer agora: almas vencidas, noites perdidas, sombras bizarras. Na mouraria cantam rufia, choram guitarras. Amor, ciúme, cinzas, ilume, dor e pecado. Tudo isto é triste, tudo isto existe, tudo isto é fado. Se queres ser o meu senhor e teres-me sempre a teu lado, não me falas só de amor, fala-me também do fado. E o fado é o meu castigo, só nasceu para me perder. O fado é tudo o que digo, mais o que eu não sei dizer. Almas vencidas, noites perdidas, sombras bizarras. Na mouraria cantam rufia, choram guitarras. Amor, ciúme, cinzas, ilume, dor e pecado. Tudo isto é triste, tudo isto existe, tudo isto é fado. Tudo isto é fado. Tudo isto é.
Maria Mendes, I feel the luckiest girl in town because I have like a private concert with you and Karel Boehlee And we'll be sharing this now with hopefully a very large audience. Thank you very, very much. But before we start talking about your music, I'd like to talk about your shoes. Tell me about your shoes.
Yeah, I think I fly easier with them, in the sense that they are, they have such a magnitude, and they are so playful and so fun. But first of all, thank you so much for your kind words. It is a pleasure to make music in these challenging times, definitely. And it felt very special to be here in this beautiful room and to play with Karel, which is one of my favorite people on earth. We are playing for 10 years now. And and as I was telling you off stage, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Every time I come on stage, I take it and I treasure it so much that everything needs to be in agreement of close to perfection, in the sense of, I like to dress up, I like to be at my best, and of course with my artistry, that's work I do daily at home, practicing and becoming stronger and fuller of a jazz musician.
You're mostly known as a jazz singer, but now you sang, what was it, fado, jazzy fado? Talk to me about this.
Actually, these songs are all from the Portuguese folk music, which is most known as fado. I'm a jazz singer at heart and in mind, and my school has been classical music and jazz, but the fados are so strong in stories, but also the ones I have decided to record on my newest album, Close to Me. Those are specific fados that have a very strong character in harmony. So what I like to call these, that the audience can listen, it's actually a symphonic jazz approach to fado. And I say symphonic because I've recorded with a Metropole Orchestra. And we are going to tour next year, 2021, and we'll be here in the Doelen with a Metropole Orchestra. It's like a dream come true. But what I mean is an approach to fado where jazz is the main tool, it's the main expression. Jazz is like a dialogue, is a conversation, and you need to know how to talk. So that's how I see this entire project is, talking to fado and, create a connection, bridges, and from there take fado somewhere else. And that's what you have heard: improvisation, reharmonization, freedom, a different sound. I think a little bit more of a classical sound if compared with fado, because fado is it's a little bit more eager in the sense of drama sound and a little bit of roughness sound as well. And myself as a musician and as a singer, I like more the pure side of it, the deep emotion from the crystal clear sound. So I hope the audience has listened to these in the way that I'm expressing it.
You're originally from Porto, in Portugal. And were you brought up with fado? When did you discover this, or is this like a daily thing in Portugal?
Well, the very interesting thing is, for me, it has been a different road to embrace fado, because what has happened is 30 years ago in my childhood, fado was not per se the most favorite type of music to be listened by youth or by teenagers. And now is. Now, I mean, for these last 10 years, it became very popular. That because also the fado language has developed into a more modern aspect, also by integrating different instruments and also by having new singers and new musicians on the fado scene. So for me,
My education was classical music. I used to listen and visit concerts from opera to piano solos to orchestras almost on a monthly basis, because from my mother's side, everyone is a musician. And then jazz came later on my teenager years as a point of curiosity. I started to listen to certain sounds that were different, and then I started to try, and I found a different freedom. And fado came more or less on a little bit later, when I was studying jazz in Porto, and I came to Rotterdam to do my master. So in between that time period, I started to fall in love for the modern fado, from Marisa, from Carminho, although Carminho is a little bit more traditional. So, and then, it stayed in my heart. I didn't do anything with it until very recently, about 3 years ago, that I started to listen more, and I think that is a result from the fact that after being far away from home for these last almost 13 years, saudade, missing home, starts hitting differently, and then I start feeling the necessity to connect more with the music where I come from, and then this idea has a rise in my in my mind and in my heart, that why not take fado songs as standards, in the sense of what we jazz musicians do with jazz standards, that we respect the composition and the story, and then we take it as a starting point to a development that can be more intellectual, but also a different way of connecting with that song.
And don't you find that fado really suits this period, the melancholy sense, the sadness also, and a sort of homesickness to something that we don't really understand. Isn't that what you feel?
I do feel that, but I don't only feel it on this period. I feel that fado, or, as I believe the most, universal music that seeks for vulnerability, that is not afraid of, expressing fragile sound, that is a type of music that it needs to persist and exist in the world, because music that is only driven by groove or by a beat or by just having a lot of noise going around, it's something that doesn't suit me. It suits a lot of population, but it's so necessary as an ambassador of music, and what I believe that at least what I can express and do with my wonderful musicians such as Karel Boehlee, and in my CD with John Beasley producing and playing, and this amazing Metropole Orchestra, is exactly that, is in a big concept, in a symphonic concept, to really approach vulnerability and really, just introduce that to the audience. And the audience is so keen and so eager to feel that, because that is a deeper place in our hearts, the feeling of, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know of this, or I didn't know that I could feel this with music. And that is something that it's necessary now, as a kind of a washing the tears and the darkness away. But I think it's also a necessity every time, because as human beings, we are...
You're based in Rotterdam now. You've been based here for quite a while. How do you experience the city now? Do you feel it's very different from 6 weeks ago?
Yeah. From the moment I have arrived, so more than 10 years ago, it has changed tremendously. I think it became more cosmopolitan, prettier as well with the new buildings. It fascinates me, this new architecture. And now, relating with the times we are, I think the Rotterdammers have really behaved very well. They are really respecting this situation. It's fantastic. It still is fantastic to witness that every time there is a light of sun, everyone is either on the balconies or just enjoying it. And that is something that defines very much, in my opinion, the Dutch population in comparison with Porto, where I came from, that, we have sun almost every day, so we don't really treasure it. So I think the city will bloom more after this situation has passed. That is what I can hope.
And are you creating at the moment, or is it very different now from 6 weeks ago? Or are you working? Are you studying?
What I can tell you is the following. I am working and studying. I am not feeling that inspired. This has inspired me. This has made my year at this point. And it's interesting because as a musician, you really have a call and you really have this thing that is so strong that you need to perform. And now that it was given me this opportunity, I feel so special, and I feel that sometimes we take it for granted. And what I want to say is, I need the stage to, keep feeding my inspiration. I don't need it constantly, because the inspiration is also something that you can work it and make it sort of a normal progression in your daily life. But I can tell you that the first 3 weeks have been really challenging for me. I was productive, but I think the word acceptance came in recently, and which is just, let it go. Accept what it is. We are all on this together, but the music I do at home, it's more to wash my kind of tears away. And for me to compose, I need to be in a different state. And I'm going into that state. I already feel it. So I can't wait for the coming weeks.
What are you most looking forward to once this is all, we're sort of going back to normal? What are you looking forward to?
To be really, really honest, for me is to actually hug all my friends and my family. It's I'm a person first, and then I'm a musician. So in that sense, that's the thing, to hug my parents, to also feel that it will be fine to travel, because one of my strongest fears at the moment is that all my family that is in Portugal, that for some reason, if something happens, I cannot go there. That's my strong fear. So I can't wait for, for this to calm down, that the circulation can just be normal. And then a second thing that I can't wait for is to meet my band and to hug them and to drink a good glass of wine and just make some music and get back to the shows, because I had, of course, some cancellations and the rescheduling of these cancellations are now for September, October. So that's what I'm hoping for, walking outside, get an ice cream, just wandelen, just gezelligheid met de mensen. That's what I want.
Wandelen with Maria. We all want to do that. Thank you very much for the beautiful music, and say hi to Karel Boehlee, and hope to see you very soon at the Doelen again. Thank you very much,
Thank you so much
Maria.
for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.